So we are a community of like-minded Orthodox Christians, black and white, coming together to tear down the walls of racism by incorporating the teachings of the Orthodox Church and the example of St. Moses the Black. We seek to tear down the issues of violence with nonviolence, to tear down the barriers of hate and replace it with love, that we can all be reconciled together as brothers and sisters in Christ and just human beings.
One of the purposes of our fellowship, our community of St. Moses the Black, is exploring the African roots of ancient Christianity, particularly apostolic Christianity.
Ancient Christianity actually started in the 1st century, and that the disciples of Jesus Christ, specifically St. Martin, St. Matthew, played a huge role in bringing Christianity to Africa, especially North Africa and places surrounding Ethiopia.
Africa was very important in the formation of the Orthodox Church. Many of the Desert Fathers came from there, foremost, of course, being St. Moses the Black, who was one of the Desert Fathers and whose writings we have today.
His life took a huge turn where he went from like this murderous gang leader, really, to a man who was seeking refuge because he saw the serenity and the peace that the monks in the monastery had, and he wanted some of that. One of his spiritual fathers took him up on a rooftop and showed him how at the sunrise that it takes time for the light to drive away the darkness. And that was a lesson that he took with him. And lived that out and lived a life of great obedience and great humility.
We strongly believe that true racial reconciliation and even inner reconciliation can't take place without prayer. So we gather together monthly in order to pray, to ask God, to ask Jesus to, help heal the wounds of divisions and hatred in our community.
We believe that by becoming a community that is dedicated to facing those challenging issues, that we can experience change in our lives and then experience change in the world around us, in our city, in our community, in our town, in our church.
Africa is part of the common heritage of our church and our faith, but of course it's also part of the common heritage of humanity, because we are all cousins ultimately who originated from Africa.
It's just miraculous to me, and that's something that's so transformative about God's grace, that you can see that in other people, and then God can work in us and change us from someone who's the worst of the worst to pure and clean and humble, and that's something that we look towards and the life of St. Moses the Black, as he's our patron saint for our fellowship in our community.